I'm having one of those hair days where I'm about to just put my hair in a shower cap and call it a day. Alright, so today is Foundation Friday. This is where we try out a new foundation every single Friday on my channel, 6 p.m. Pacific time. So this has been the most requested foundation from you guys in a hot minute. The internet is going wild right now over Rare Beauty. This is Selena Gomez's new makeup line. I did not get this in PR. I bought this with my own money on Sephora. Not gonna lie, I Wikipedia'd her before filming this video. I definitely had heard of Selena Gomez, like I know the name and the face and everything, but I just wasn't quite sure, you know, which category she was in. My pop culture knowledge is like a 1%. I did do a little bit of research about the brand though, and one thing I thought was cool is that she launched the Rare Impact Fund to provide mental health services in underserved communities. They're shooting to raise $100 million with that fund to support local, national, and global mental health initiatives in the next 10 years. So I think that's really awesome. The whole line is vegan and cruelty-free, and one other thing that I just wanted to point out that I missed is that the packaging, if you look at it, there's round balls on the top, and it's actually because she made it accessible to people who have chronic pain. She has lupus. I obviously relate to this, and I just think that is so cool. I don't think I've ever seen a brand do that, so you can actually open these products with your palm. So if you have joint problems, it is easily, you know, openable. Is that a word? Let's get into the makeup. So moving on to the foundation, this is the Rare Beauty Liquid Touch Weightless Foundation. It retails for $29, has 1 fluid ounce of product, which is standard, and I like the price point at $29. I think that's actually a very fair price point. It's around like Clinique kind of pricing, and they launched with 48 shades, which is great. It's, I think, what you should be doing in 2020 is launching with, I would say, at least 40 shades at this point. 40 to 50 shades is ideal. Fenty launched with 50 shades. I think it should just be kind of like the standard what you do at this point. The lightest shade is 100W. I chose the shade 130N, and the deepest shade is 570N. I'm gonna start swatches in a minute, but first it says, a weightless foundation with concentrated pigments that feels barely there while providing buildable medium to full coverage with a natural finish. It says it's for all skin types. It does feel like a glass bottle, but it might just be really hard plastic because it does feel very lightweight, but it still feels like nice quality. I like the packaging. You'll see in the demo, but it does have a quite large doe foot applicator. So I'm going to start swatches here of the shade 130 next to some of my other foundation shades. That's just to kind of give an idea if you're around my skin tone of what shade you might be. So I'm going to start those here. Right, here's the Rare Beauty foundation in the shade 130N. Next over is the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless foundation in the shade 2 Neutral. Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk in 3.75. Urban Decay Stay Naked in 11NN, which this one is too light for me. I just wanted to include it as a comparison. I'm usually 20NN in this one. L'Oreal Freshwear in 410. And Flower Beauty Light Illusion in Porcelain L1. I also ordered their concealer, so we'll also be doing a wear test and testing that in this video as well. But if you enjoy this video while you're watching, you can give it a thumbs up. I appreciate it. It helps me out in the YouTube algorithm, so I do really appreciate it anytime you do that or comment down below. Thank you. If you're new here, I upload every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 6 p.m. Pacific time. What else do I have to say? I don't think anything. Let's just get into the demo part of the video. All right, so it's 9:52 when we're starting this. I like the outside packaging of this. It just reminds me of like a notebook or like journaling or something, just with the kind of like handwritten shade name and stuff. And then here's the foundation. I may have chose a shade a little bit too dark, but I would rather go a little bit dark than too light and look a little bit ghostly. So I have the shade 130N. You guys have already seen swatches. I haven't done the swatches, so we'll just see how it looks on my face. But I'm gonna give this a shake. Oh, actually sounds very liquidy. Has like the little shaker ball in it. So buildable medium to full coverage with a natural finish. So if you're new to my reviews, I like to do one side of my face with a brush, one side with a sponge, and 10-hour wear tests, flash tests, and shots in natural lighting. Oh, it's a doe foot applicator. I haven't seen any reviews on this foundation. I haven't watched anything yet, so this is total first impressions. Some people like this, some people don't, because it's not super hygienic if you're going straight in on your face and then putting it back in. Let's do this, folks. Oh, I actually think I might have gotten a good shade match. Okay, so I'm gonna start with a brush on this side of my face. Whoa, it feels super silky and very lightweight. Yeah, looking at my neck, my face is always darker than my neck, so just matching it to my neck, I actually think I got probably a perfect shade match. With a brush on that side, it's looking pretty. It does look like medium coverage. I can still see all of my freckles coming through, but compared to this side, you can see it toned down a ton of the redness. Definitely looks like skin, just looks kind of natural, and it looks like, I would say, natural finish, glowy, but not super dewy. I have a little bit of hair dye on right now. I haven't washed my hair since I dyed it, so that's what that is. All right, let's try a sponge on this side. I have a feeling because of the consistency of this one, a sponge might soak up a lot, but you never know. We'll see. So I'm using the Haley's Beauty sponge on this side. Yeah, I'm getting lighter coverage on this side. My face also is just a little bit redder on this side, so keep that in mind. I'm getting a little bit less coverage with the sponge side, but it's not completely soaking everything up. I do like a brush better though, because the finish looks great with a brush and I'm getting a little bit more coverage with a brush, and I feel like I would have to go in with like more product on this side. I think I would just go in straight away with the brush. So that's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna add a little bit more just to make the coverage even to the side, and I think it did say it was buildable, didn't it? Yeah, buildable, medium to full coverage. Whoops, just knocked that over. I just want to get the coverage even to the other side. It feels like it has a bit of a slip to me. We'll give it a few minutes and see if it sets down at all, but it is feeling like a little bit slippery. This side actually feels like it's starting to set a little bit, so that's good. When it immediately goes on, it does have like a slidey kind of feel. I do like how comfortable and just lightweight this feels, and as I'm like adding more product, it's not looking like I'm adding more product at all. It's just kind of melting into the skin, and I think the undertone is pretty perfect for me. I like the undertone of this one. On me, the forehead is the true test. A lot of foreheads look really dry and just cling right here. A lot of foreheads, that's what I just said, a lot of foundations. Okay, this one is looking good up here on my forehead. It's not looking bad right here. It's not looking phenomenal. So I'm just gonna take actually the sponge, add a tiny bit more, and just see if I can really push it into my skin right here. It's not looking bad, but I just want to see if we can get it to look even better right here. So I'm just gonna kind of squeeze the sponge down and then just press and see if I can really work it into my skin right here. It does just look like medium coverage. I can't see this one being full coverage. I mean, we can try and see if it's buildable to full coverage. I'm going to try and build it up on some of my like scarring down here. It does seem to oxidize about half a shade. You can see it's a little bit lighter when it first goes on down here. It is building. It's not going to be like opaque full coverage. I would say you can get this to high medium coverage. I think with this one though, since it's not like totally covering, I would probably just do, you know, one layer with a brush, get about medium coverage, and then if I wanted to conceal some other spots, I would probably just use a spot concealer, like use the NARS Soft Matte Concealer in the pot, go in and just kind of add some more coverage to certain spots. That's probably what I would do. It definitely overall looks very natural. I think it looks nice. It doesn't look like I'm getting creasing yet on my upper lip. It's kind of digging in a little bit right here. I do have foundations that look better right here on me, but we'll just kind of keep looking at that spot throughout the day, see how it goes. We'll see how the finish looks in natural lighting. Right here, it's looking pretty glowy. It's looking like a dewy finish. I almost forgot. I also got the concealer. I did use this yesterday, so I've tried this one time. I got the shade why did I do that? Got the shade 130 in the foundation and 150 in the concealer, but the concealer is lighter. Okay, so maybe the concealer shades are just different. They didn't match them up with the foundation maybe. The doe foot is wild on this thing. Let me just show you this. I'm not a huge fan of it. It's a very interesting shape. I feel like they were just trying to do something different, but I don't know if it was totally necessary. So it's kind of a, I don't even know what you would call this, like a block, and then it has this like hard stop on the end. It's like a flat end right there. So you kind of have to do it like at a flat angle like this, where you're almost pulling your arm out more than you normally would. Normally you'd apply it kind of down here, so you kind of have to like pull your arm out. Yeah, I'm just gonna go in. So there it is. I'm gonna work in one eye at a time. I always like to apply my concealer with a concealer brush rather than a sponge. I actually liked it better yesterday, maybe because yesterday I was wearing more full coverage foundation, but I'm seeing a lot more darkness coming through today. Yeah, it's looking like lighter coverage today. I'm gonna add a little bit more right here and kind of let it sit on. Maybe I let it sit for longer yesterday. Then this side I'm gonna let sit on. Sometimes with certain concealers, especially if they're very moisturizing, kind of creamy like this one seems to be, if you let them sit on for like 30 seconds, they can kind of have more coverage. That's what happens with the Milk Makeup Flex Concealer. That one is like light coverage if you just go in and blend it out, but if you let it sit on for like 30 seconds to a minute and then blend it out, it's completely full coverage. But the concealer retails for $19 and it says medium to full coverage that lasts while brightening skin with a radiant finish. Whoa, the concealer comes in a ton of shades. Comes in the same 48 shades as the foundation. That's super cool. I feel like that's really rare for a concealer, really rare. I don't know if I've ever seen that, actually. Having a concealer that comes in the same shades as the foundation, like as many shades. It's been sitting on for maybe like 30 seconds now. I feel like I have drugstore concealers that I like a little bit better, so I don't know if it's necessarily worth spending $19 on just off the bat. I can still see darkness coming through. The texture of it, I just feel like it's kind of emphasizing some of my like dryness underneath my eyes, or just making my under eyes look dry. I'm not super stoked on it. I'm not like dying to use this again tomorrow. Maybe this is one of the concealers that I like on no makeup days where I'm not wearing foundation. I just use it to kind of like brighten my under eyes. So maybe that's how I'll use it. But right now it is 10:10. I am going to do the rest of my makeup and I'll be back. But first let me feel my face to see how it's feeling. So it does feel tacky, but it doesn't feel quite as slippery. Like it doesn't have the Maybelline Fit Me kind of feel, which is how this was feeling when it was first going on. It does have that very slippery, glidey kind of feel. We'll just see what I do as far as powder. I feel like I'm kind of losing coverage. Look at my forehead. It seems like I'm getting like more redness or something coming through right there, and then also on my nose. I feel like I'm like going down to light coverage. What's happening? So I'm gonna think about what we're gonna do here for the rest of my makeup. If I go for just like a really natural look, what I'm doing with the powder, but I will be back once I have that all figured out and come back and talk to you, obviously. Just realized my candle went out. When did that happen, sir? Okay, it's now 10:48, but we're calling check-in time at 10:20 since that's when I finished up with my face. I'm about to rip my hair off my head. Ended up powdering my under eyes, and I did powder right here on my cheek area so that I could blend stuff because it was feeling a little bit too tacky, and then also up here on my forehead, just using the CoverGirl Clean Fresh, both for my under eyes and for my face. That's what I've been doing every single day for about the last, I don't know, whenever this launched. So I do feel like I'm losing some of the coverage, like I said in the last clip. It just looks like in certain parts I'm at like light coverage now, which is kind of odd. I don't know why. Other than that, I just feel like I need to see what this one looks like in natural lighting. I don't not like it. I don't love it. It just kind of looks very average to me. So let me tell you what's on the rest of my face. I'm also doing some other wear tests just on products that I mentioned in my last first impressions video that I'm pretty sure will be up before this video. I don't know, this one is actually like, I'm filming it the week that it's going up because so many of you are asking about it. So I had to switch around some of my uploads. So I think the first impression video will be up, but if not, it'll be coming next week and the videos will be out of order. But anyways, Patrick Star One Size eyeliner. We'll see how this wears throughout the day. I tried it in that first impressions video. Update on this though, I actually couldn't get a wing with it. I had to switch to my Wet n Wild eyeliner. So the base is this one, and then the wing I made with the Wet n Wild because it was a little bit too flimsy. That could just be like, you know, my skill level with the wing. So that could just be me. For blush, bronzer, and highlight, I use this Pixie Honey Nectar palette. This is one of their new ones. And I liked all three, blush, bronzer, and highlight that I tried in here. I used this shade as highlight. Whipped out Kingston and Cashmere from NARS for shadows. These are the two shadows that I have on right now. These are really pretty cool tone shades if you're into cool tones. This one is just a really nice one, Kingston, to have in your collection for a matte cool tone shade that you can use like with other palettes. And then for that inner corner kind of shimmer shade, I used number 2 by CoverGirl, the Exhibitionist. Then for mascara, another one that I tried in that first impressions video that we'll see how it wears for a full day. I didn't layer this one. This is the new NARS Climax Extreme. So we'll just see how this one wears on its own for a full day and do a little wear test on this one. And then for lips, I used MAC Soar Liner and then BH Cosmetics Natalie Liquid Lipstick. I've been getting a lot of questions about my brows lately. 9 out of 10 times I've been doing these two products, the Urban Decay Brow Blade. I am so in love with this. This is like a game changer brow product to me. This is in the shade Dark Drapes. And then the Milani Brow Pencil I love. This is their Precision Brow in medium brown. It's like perfect shade, really nice and fine, and I like using it for the front and then also just like adding some strokes. So these two together have been working really well for me. So that's what's on the rest of my face. Let's go see what this foundation looks like in natural lighting and we'll do a flash test. All right, so I'm actually popping in real quick, coming at you from the next day to let you know that I edited back this video and I'm filming these check-in clips on a new camera, the Sony ZV-1, and I accidentally had the skin smoothing. There's like a feature built into this camera. Oh my God. Thought it was a spider, it was just my hair on my back. There's a skin smoothing feature built into this camera that you have to turn off, and I accidentally had it on for the check-ins for the next clips that you're gonna see from yesterday. But the good news is when I zoom in to show you the foundation up close, it's off. So you can really see up close what the foundation looks like. It's only when I'm zoomed out like this that it has like the slight kind of blurred look over it. Right now in this clip, I am wearing the foundation again and skin smoothing is turned completely off. I'm gonna do a check-in at the end of the video again for day 2, which is this one, so that you can see with the skin smoothing off, wearing it again for a second day, what it looks like. So in the end, it's actually, I guess, more useful because you're getting a second day wear test out of it. But I just wanted to give you a heads up so it doesn't look like I'm like just putting a blurring filter on my videos or anything. But here's the footage from yesterday and we'll continue on with the video. It's so weird in natural lighting. It depends like where I stand in the room, because right here it looks like pretty satin matte, but then I was just looking in the corner of the room and it looked like super dewy. So I'm gonna move the camera in a second so you can see what I'm talking about. But I don't know, it looks like a little makeup-y. Let me move the camera so you can see what I'm talking about. It's so weirdly sunny but super foggy right now, in case anyone wanted a really riveting weather update. Here we go. Okay, so look, when I move into this corner, it looks like a little bit more of a satin finish. It doesn't look super glowy, which I like. I like this kind of finish where it just looks like a true satin. Oh my God. As far as creasing, I'm starting to get a little tiny bit on my upper lip, not bad. Overall, like the finish right now. It's looking a little bit more makeup-y than I would like, but we'll see how it wears throughout the day. We'll see if it gets kind of more makeup-y or if it looks better throughout the day. Sometimes certain foundations kind of warm up to your face throughout the day and actually look a little bit better. So we'll just have to see how this one wears. But right now I'm just kind of like so on it. I do feel like the foundation might be one that would really benefit from having a primer underneath, just because of how kind of slippery it is. You know what? I am getting creasing already right here. Okay, so I'm going to insert the flash photo here. There doesn't seem to be a white cast, which is nice. Also, I do have on the Purito SPF underneath. I wear it underneath every foundation that I put on. So I think you could wear this one in flash photography, which is nice. I will see you guys in a few hours back in natural lighting for the next check-in. Okay, so it's now 4:01 p.m. So it's been on for a little over 5 hours, 5 hours and 40 minutes to be exact. I was running a couple errands, so I was wearing a mask. It's also super smoky in Seattle right now because of the fires. We're having fires here. There's fires everywhere right now. It's kind of wild. So that's why my eyes are kind of red. But I was wearing a mask and it actually, like, I don't think there's any transfer from the mask, which is exciting. Maybe a little bit on my nose right here, but nothing major. And I was taking it on and off like probably at least 10 times. So that's a good sign for almost 6 hours in at this point. I feel like it's looking pretty good. There's a few things I'm noticing, like it's just looking a little bit creasy and makeup-y in certain parts, which is where I typically get it on my upper lip right here. And then I just don't love how it's looked since I applied it and just throughout the whole day right here. It just doesn't seem to want to stick. I just have redness coming through right here, which is weird. I don't usually get that on my forehead right here. So maybe a primer would help with that, but there's just something funky going on right here on my forehead. But the rest of my forehead looks good. It does look like it's gotten slightly dewier, not like oily looking or anything. I like this amount of glow. I feel like it has kind of like warmed up to my skin a little bit, and I feel like it almost looks more flattering right now than it did 6 hours ago, which is good. That's what you want, you know? You don't want it to look worse throughout the day. It just is one of those that's looking different, like every time I look at it in different lighting and different mirrors and stuff, so it's hard for me to kind of like grasp with this one. But because it's like close to looking really good, I think that's a good sign. I'm just not loving right here is like my main thing, but because I'm not getting wild creasing, and it's just looking like a little bit heavy around this area. And I think if I had like a concealer underneath my eyes that I liked, I think overall maybe it would look even better, you know? But I think if I used a primer, setting spray, and then had my normal concealer that I liked on, I could probably make this look really good. And I think it's a great sign that 6 hours in right now it's looking really good, just like the wear. So I'm curious to see how this looks by the end of the night. I'll see you guys. I realized I can't do 10 hours. I'm gonna have to check in at the 9-hour point today because I have an appointment at 8 p.m. where I'm gonna be face down, getting my neck work done. So I'm gonna have to check in at the 9-hour point, but that's still, you know, pretty long wear test. So I'll see you guys then. Okay, so it's now 7:06 p.m. So foundation's been on for just about 9 hours. I feel like this is one of those that has kind of like weirdly looked better as the day has gone on, which is great. For 9 hours is looking really good and looks better than it did almost when I first put it on. Like, I think just with my kind of like skin oils or whatever starting to come through, and just like as the day's gone on, it's actually looked better. I still have that separation happening between my eyebrows, and you know, I have creasing around my mouth. It does look like still makeup-y and kind of creasy, a little bit heavy in certain areas, but overall I feel like just looking at my face, it looks good. And now knowing how it wears throughout the day, I am excited to try and make this one work and look better at the beginning of the day. It's kind of a weird, like, opposite problem to have. Let me know what you guys think. I mean, you've seen what some foundations can look like on my skin by the end of the night, and this one, relative to what a lot of foundations can look like, I think looks very nice. Okay, so now this is day 2 of wearing the foundation. I just applied it, so I'm going to show you, and then I'll show you in a few hours what it looks like. I'm about to film another video, so I'll just check in after I film that video, so it won't be a full day wear test. Can't wear this one for a full day today. However, I did a couple things different. So I put on the Tatcha Silk Canvas Primer. I let it sit for a couple minutes, and then I put on the foundation over top with a kabuki brush. It blended out really easily. I felt like I got more coverage today. Sometimes the Tatcha primer can add coverage. I used the same CoverGirl powder just down here and then a little bit right here, since that worked well yesterday. And then I did put on the Collab Grand Finale setting spray just in this area of my face. I didn't apply it to my forehead because I feel like my forehead always looks glowier. I think just because I put the CoverGirl powder down here. Noticing I feel like a bit more creasing around my mouth to start out with. It still looks like makeup-y, but again, yesterday it really warmed up to my skin and looked better throughout the day, so we'll see how it looks in a few hours, but I will check in with you guys then. Okay, so it's a few hours later, and you guys, it's not looking good. I can't figure this one out. I'm getting a ton of creasing on my upper lip today. And overall, I feel like it just looks more makeup-y. The shadow, the light's doing weird things with the shadows, but look at my upper lip. I feel like my forehead just looks more makeup-y, and I forgot to mention earlier, I still am getting the separation right here, so I wasn't able to fix that with primer. Overall, more of like a makeup-y look. Yeah, it's not looking good. Now I am confused. A few hours in yesterday, it was looking way better, so maybe the Tatcha primer made it look heavier today. Today, I'm not loving it. So I'm gonna have to keep testing this one in different ways. This might be just like one of those kind of more finicky foundations where I'm just gonna have to find a way that works with my skin. But if you guys have tried this one, let me know how your favorite way to wear it is, or if you like it or don't like it. I will do a Foundation Friday updates video coming. I'll definitely include it in this one. This video is going up, like I said, the same, you know, week, like a day before I'm filming it, so I won't have time to test this more before this video is going up, but I will update you in future videos, either speed reviews or that Foundation Friday update video, so I'll definitely keep you in the loop with this one. But right now I'm just, I'm still figuring this one out. But I hope you guys enjoyed today's Foundation Friday. If you did, you can give this a thumbs up. I know this is a longer video. I think this one's gonna be like 25 minutes long, so if you made it to the end here, comment the word cake, because that's how we're looking. Cakey. I almost just fell over. But I love you guys. Thanks for watching. See you in my next video.